Good morning. Today you're going to be doing the Reteach for Data test. This is something that you took a while back. It's all about the graphs and the central tendencies, which is mean, median, mode, and range. So you should have your test in front of you so you could go ahead and try to do the corrections on those questions that you did wrong. Again, you do need a sheet of paper on your own, divide it into two columns. Copy everything on the left side with your answer, the correct answer, and all the work that we're showing. And then on the right side, you're going to explain what you did wrong. Remember, without that explanation, you will not be able to get a 70%. So you will be retesting tomorrow. So make sure that you are working on this and learning. And if you have any questions, please ask me as you're watching this video. So here is the first one. The first one says the graph shows the favorite color chosen by 50 middle school students. What percent of middle school students chose red, yellow, or orange as their favorite color? So we have answer choices, so let's go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so red, we noticed that it has 9. Yellow has 4. Orange has 3. And then all we have to do is add those numbers, 9 plus 4 plus 3. So that's 7 plus 9, that's 16. Okay, and then we have to go ahead and add the rest of them. So 9 for blue, 7 for green, 8 for black, 4 for pink, and 6 for purple. So let's go ahead and add those up. 4 and 6, oops. So that's 10, 25, 34. So 16 plus 34, oops. That's going to be 50. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and set up our proportion. And we are doing the percent proportion, so all we have to do now is go ahead and write 16 over 50 is x over 100. Now, I could see that I have a scale factor of 2. So 16 times 2 will give us 32. So that stands for 32%, so my answer is letter D. So go ahead and write what you did wrong in order if you got this one wrong. Number 2, Susan polled 50 people as they entered the mall about their favorite sports to watch on TV. Her results are summarized in the bar graph. So this one, they're asking you to find which one's true and false. So let's go ahead and write the numbers on the top. So baseball had 8, football had 11, basketball had 14, soccer had 8, and others had 9. So if she did say 50, so I really don't have to add them up. All we have to do is check to see which one's correct. So it says 1/5 of the people chose basketball or soccer to watch TV. So that means that basketball and soccer is 8 each, so that's going to be 16 over 50. And it says 1/5. Well, 1/5, if you simplify that, that's 8 over 25. And that's really not 1/5. So we're going to say this is false. Okay, for letter B, it says 84 of the people did not choose soccer as their favorite sports to watch. Well, soccer is 8, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8 from 50, which is 42. And if you do 42 over 50 is equal to x over 100. Well, again, there's a scale factor of 2. So that's going to be times 2. That's going to be 42 times 2 is going to be 84. So B is correct so far. Let's see and see. More people chose basketball than all other sports combined as their favorite sports to watch on TV. Well, just basketball is 14, and we know that 11 and 8 is already 19. So that's not true. That's false. And then the last one, less than 20% of the people surveyed chose football as a favorite sports to watch on TV. So less than 20%. So football was 11 and 50. So then when we go ahead and do the math, again, it's times 2. So this is 22%. So that's not less, that's more. So D is going to be false, so your answer is letter B. Again, go ahead and write your mistakes, what you did wrong, in order to make your corrections. Number 3, Maribel surveyed 55 people to find out their favorite types of music. The results are shown in the bar graph. Based on information in the graph, which type of music were chosen by 40% of the people surveyed? So if we know it's 55, we're going to go ahead and put x over 55 is equal to 40 over 100. Well, in this case, I do not have a scale factor, but I could go ahead and do cross products. So 55 times 40, bring the 0 down, that's 20, that's 22, divided by 100. So that means it's going to be 1, 2, 1, 2. So we need 22 people. So now we have to find out which one adds up to 22. So we have 15, this is 12, this is 10, and this is 18. So if you look at it, 22, 15 plus 12 is 27, 12 plus 10, so it's going to be those two. That's 22, so that is jazz and opera, so our answer is letter B. Again, make sure you're writing down what your mistakes were. Number 4, 4 people are running for sheriff. A survey was randomly conducted in the county, and the results were recorded in the graph. If there are 250 registered voters in the county, how many votes can Sarah expect? So Sarah had 6 votes. Then we have 21. Here we have 17, and this is going to be 6 again. So when we add them up, because it doesn't say how much it is, I usually start with the bigger numbers. Then you add 12. So that's going to be 50. So that's 50. So let's go ahead and see how many votes. So how many votes this Sarah will actually get. So we have 6 out of 50. And then we're going to 250. Well, if I notice, I have a scale factor of 5 here. So 6 times 5 is 30. So that means that Sarah will be getting 30 votes out of the 250 registered voters. Again, go ahead and do your explanation of your mistakes, and let's keep going. The circle graph shows how Trevor divided his time on the computer last week. Trevor used the computer a total of 30 hours last week. How many hours did Trevor work in his homework last week? So we have Trevor with 30 hours. So let's go ahead and look to see and homework. Homework is 20. So what we do 20 out of 100 is equal to 30, x over 30. So we can't find a scale factor. So that's 20 times 30, that's 600. And then 600 divided by 100. Again, cross out the zeros, so that's going to be 6 hours. So my answer is letter A. So go ahead and write your mistakes. Explain your mistakes and see what you did wrong. Number 6, 87th graders were polled at Rudder Middle School about their favorite subjects. Their data is summarized in the circle graph below. Using the information above, how many students picked art or history as their favorite subject? So art here is going to be 25. History is 10. So 25 plus 10, that's going to give you 35. So now we're going to go ahead and set up our proportions. So 35 over 80, because that's how many students were surveyed. And then we're going to put, actually it's the other way around. I made a mistake here. So this is supposed to be 35 out of 180 over here. So we do cross product. So 35 times 80. So 0 here, that's 40. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. divided by 100. Again, cross out the zeros. So that means 28 students picked art and history. So again, go ahead and explain your mistakes on your paper and make sure you are working and showing all your work. Number 7. Mr. Brown planted a vegetable garden. The circle graph shows the kind of vegetable he planted and the percent of area of the garden in each kind of vegetable occupied. Mr. Brown's garden has an area of 160 square feet. How many square feet of Mr. Brown's garden is occupied by cabbage? So cabbage, we don't have the percentage, so what we need to do is we need to add everything up. So we have carrots is 5, lettuce is 25, so that's 30, plus 45, that's 75, plus 10, that's 85. So 100 minus 85, that's going to be 15%. So cabbage was 15%. So let's go ahead and find out what that is. So 15 over 100 is x over 160. So let's go ahead and do cross product. 160 times 15. So that's 0, 0 for 30. That's 8. Add a 0 and then another 0, 6, 1. So that's going to be 0, 0. 8 times 8 plus 4 is 14. 124 divided by 100. So if I divide by 100, I add the zeros. So that means 24 square feet was cabbage in Mr. Brown's farm. Number 8, the circle graph shows Alan's activity during 24 hours. How much more time in hours did Alan spend listening to music than playing tennis? So now it's a comparing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and subtract. So listening to music is 12 and playing tennis is 10. So 12 minus 10 is 2. So that's 2%. So let's go ahead and show that 2% out of 100, and this is 24 hours, but that's going to go in the bottom. So again, we're going to go ahead and multiply that. So 24 times 2 is 48. Now 48 divided by 100. Okay, so I know 100 doesn't go into 48, so I'm adding a decimal and adding zeros. So I know it's going to be 2 zeros. So 100 into 480 is 4. So that's 400. Remainder is 80. Bring the 0 down. 100 into 800 is 8. So that's 800 is 0. So that means that he spent 0.48 of an hour difference between listening to music and playing tennis. So again, make sure that you are working on writing what your mistakes were. You are going to be taking your retest right now, and then tomorrow we'll do the second part of the test. So good luck on your retest. Congratulations on improving your grade. Remember, if you turn this in today, you will have a 70%. So it actually already you've improved your grade. After this, you do need to take the retest, and hopefully you'll get a better grade. So good luck again, and make sure you turn everything in.